Okay, welcome to episode 2 with Birding with Jason. Now I plan to take you around this park. We're at a fairly large park in Sao Paulo, and I plan to take you around here to show you all the cool birds here. But as you can see, the weather isn't so great. I'm kind of soaked, and I don't know how many birds are here, but there is something cool here. Behind there are 2 southern lapwings. So I think I'm going to start with the 2 southern lapwings. I'll try and get some footage of them in the rain, but basically there are 2 southern lapwings here. I saw a few other birds, but not too many, because you know, most of the birds are taking shelter from the rain, and I don't think the birds like this rain. It's extremely intense. We got to the shelter here, but unfortunately the shelter is well, it's very small, and I can't do much from here, and I can barely see anything, but the rain's very strong. So I don't know how many birds I'm going to show you today, but basically we're going to have a bit of an adventure. Okay, so I think the rain is stopping now. I saw a great kiskadee over there, and well, I'm gonna have to actually get out of this area. It's quite flooded. There's a puddle here, and I'm already very soaking wet, so I actually don't care too much if I get even more wet. But I heard some cool birds over there. I think they're Chopi blackbirds, so I think I'm gonna go and try. Oh, there's a large bird over there. I think it also might be the rock dove. I've seen quite a few birds now, even though it was very much raining. So let's go over there and see if we can find the Chopi blackbird. I see some birds up ahead. Now, one of them is definitely rufous-bellied thrush. I'll try and get some footage of that later. There's also chalk-browed mockingbird, but I don't see the Chopi blackbird. It's a little bit of a stream that formed there from the rain, but I'm going to try and go in that area. Oh, there's a new bird that just landed there. Great kiskadee, I think. So let's go in that area, and we'll try and find some kind of like cool birds to see. So over here we've got the rock dove, one of the rarest birds in the world. Actually, it's quite common, and unfortunately I'm not seeing anything rare, but it's kind of cool to watch. It's a very pretty bird. I love the rock dove. They have very nice plumages, and this is the classic plumage that looks like the wild type. Now I'm very close to getting to 700 birds, but this rock dove is not going to be the 700th bird because it's one of the first birds I ever saw. But I lost most of the other birds, and I didn't find the Chopi blackbirds, but they're calling around here, so I think we might be able to find them if we keep looking around. Like I said, this park is a very big park. It's one of the biggest parks in the city. And, well, I just found this new area last time. It had some cool birds in it. And I'm not exactly sure remember what I saw, but I saw lots of cool things here. And I got some shots last time. I brought my big camera. But this time I just brought a small camera to take some video clips for this episode. Now we're climbing up a hill here, and we're going to enter a new sort of sandy area, and I hear a lot of birds. I think one of them could be the Chopi blackbird. There's also some chalk-browed mockingbirds here. So I think I'm gonna have to start writing the birds down that I've seen so far, because I can't remember all of them. So maybe I'll go up there and we'll see what we can find there. Okay, so the sun is coming out now, and there are lots of chalk-browed mockingbirds playing in this playground. For some reason, I think they're attracted to the sand in this open area, and there's one on the bench there. So I'm going to try and take a shot of that chalk-browed mockingbird so you can actually see what this bird looks like instead of just listening to me describe all these birds. Let's see. Okay, that's a chalk-browed mockingbird. What an interesting species. Well, now they're kind of all flying away, but I'm going to go chase them. I have to admit, I can't wait to get home and change my socks. They're quite wet in this region, but we saw quite a few birds, and I think I should start making a list of birds that I've seen so far on this. Well, actually my bird list is a little bit wet, you know, so let's try and write on the dry part of this piece of paper. Okay, so we got, well, my pencil doesn't seem to write too well on this thing. It's kind of wet, you know. Right, eared dove. That's one. We saw the lapwing. That's good. You should always keep a pencil and paper so you can keep track of all the birds you saw. And actually, I forgot some of the birds. I'm going to have to look over some of those pictures. Oh, that's this great kiskadee. There's a chalk-browed mockingbird. And there's a rock dove. And actually, coming into this park, there was an egret. Great egret. See, I'll try and get closer to the egret so you might be able to see it later. And this area is quite cool because it's a field area. So earlier, 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, there was a Campo Flicker in this field. I really like this field. It's a nice open space, and not many people come here either. I really like the areas where there are few people, because that means there are more birds. And there's also like some nice spaces up there where birds can land on that bridge that people can't go on because it's probably too dangerous. And it's just a really nice place. And see, there's even some birds flying over there. I can see look, there's some birds flying up there, lapwings. There's some lapwings flying up there. So it's a really cool place. You can see lots of birds here. And I think so far this has been a pretty good birding event, despite the horrendous amount of rain that we've seen. And, of course my shirt is completely wet, my pants are wet, but it's okay. No matter, as long as you see some birds, all of it's worth it. So maybe I'll come and show you some water birds. We'll try and get closer to the water birds now. And actually the sun is coming out, so I think we'll have some good luck, both for seeing birds and drying my shirt. It's hard to get stable footage of ear doves because it's a little shaky, and if I get too high then they run away, but I'm hoping some of this footage can be stabilized a little bit. It won't look so bad. Oh, there's a lapwing back there. So I'm gonna try and get a little higher so I can get these ear doves. Well, right now there's an ear dove taking a bath down there. We actually saw Campo Flicker here, but it flew away, but these ear doves are pretty cool. Okay, we got the coolest bird of the trip. It's the anhinga. I've seen this bird twice already here, but it's around there. It's one of those, like, there are only 4 species in this family. And I'm gonna try and get some shots. It's doing something cool in the grass, the anhinga. It's one of my favorite birds. One of the most cool looking birds in the whole world. All right, let's try and get this anhinga. As you can see, it's just in the grass. So strange what it's doing here. Let's see, look at that bird. Oh yeah, look at that bird. So you can see this anhinga. It seems to be moving its neck up and down constantly. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing. Why it does that with its neck. It just doesn't seem to have any... Maybe it's just kind of stretching it out, or maybe it was so sore swimming, catching fish, who knows. Point is, it's a very cool bird, and it seems just to be... Look, it's flying. It just flew right onto the path. That's so cool. I love the anhinga. I think this bird is fairly rare here because this is only the 3rd time that I've seen it in this park. But maybe it's seasonal and it only comes at a certain time. I'm not sure. Maybe it's migratory. And now, after that anhinga, we got some Brazilian teals right in the water. That's very appropriate because we're in Brazil. Well, those are the Brazilian teals. So I'm going to try and get some footage of them in the water. I don't know how easy it's going to be because, well, the grass is kind of wet. I'm getting kind of tired, but, oh, and there's a great kiss kitty. That's cool too. All right, let's try and get these Brazilian teals. Well, I have to admit, I saw a lot of cool things here. Anhinga, Picazuro pigeon that I didn't even talk about. There's some plain parakeets back there that I took some footage of. And the Brazilian teals in the water, chalk-browed mockingbird, rock dove, choppy blackbird, southern lapwing. But it was a little unpleasant because it was quite cold and rainy. But it's going to be very nice to get home and have something warm and take a shower and change it to something dry. And, well, it's time for eating.